Good morning. Happy Friday. It's my daughter. She's doing a school. She's doing a school presentation today for Mother's Day. So, I feel like this is more my size than her size. So, good morning, live coaching. I'm here helping people with their emotional intelligence, as I do every day at this time. Your emotional intelligence is a super important skill to have, and I want to hopefully Jason is going to join. So Jason joins my lives almost every day, and he has been applying for jobs. He's at school at the moment, he's at university. He's been applying for jobs, and he had been stressing out because he hadn't heard back from them. And so we did some work on his emotional intelligence. We helped him gain control over his feelings, stop stressing out, and use that energy more productively. And he got the job. So I'm really excited for him. I hope he joins so that I can congratulate him here. So yeah, emotional intelligence. When sometimes your feelings or your emotions take control over you, right? So in this example, Jason was really nervous about whether he was going to get this job or not. He had a deadline. He had to find a job by a certain deadline because he was finishing at school. So there was a lot of pressure. There was money pressure. There was academic pressure, like he had to get a job, I believe as part of his school. Sorry, I keep looking over there because somebody's coming to pick up this bag from my house, and my doorbell doesn't work, so usually they just kind of wave through the window, so I'm waiting to see if somebody waves through the window. So he had a lot of pressure on and really wanted the job, right? And it's over several days. He came on my live saying, I'm really stressing out. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to get the job or not. I'm really worried that I don't get any job. What if I don't get this job? What if I don't get any job? What if I don't get a job in time, right? And we worked on his emotional intelligence, and we worked on letting go of the outcome, letting go of the expectations, and really feeling into whatever happens is for my highest and best good, because life doesn't always go how we plan it, right? We have this phrase, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. And what that means is that sometimes things don't go to plan, but we can always choose to believe that things are working out for our highest and best good. And ultimately, whatever happens to us isn't going to change. Our external circumstances follow our thoughts. They follow the flow of our thoughts, but it's really hard to get my mouth around. They follow the flow of our thoughts. And so if we're in a positive frame of mind, we are going to attract positive things to us. And so staying in a positive frame of mind improves our reality, right? And so working on your emotional intelligence allows you to stay in a positive frame of mind. So if you I was watching a video the other day, it was Bashar talking. Bashar, if you don't know, he channels spirits, and he was talking about it was a man that wanted he loved music, and he just bought a car and he wanted to purchase a car stereo. And so we went to the shop, and the stereo that he wanted, the stereo that he was most excited about, was incredibly expensive. He couldn't afford it. So he did the next best thing and he bought the best stereo that he could afford. And then a few days later, the car got into, oh no, it wasn't an accident. Somebody came and stole the radio from the car, and they kind of beat up the area, the dashboard where the car radio goes. And so this person chose to stay in a positive frame of mind, chose to believe that what happened was for his highest and best good. This person loved music. They wanted a really expensive, great stereo. They couldn't afford the great one, so they got the next best thing, the most expensive stereo they could afford. And a few days later, it was stolen, but they chose to see the situation positively. And so following the situation, still in a positive frame of mind, thinking to himself, whatever happened is for my highest and best good, he went out and reported the theft, as you do, to the insurance. The insurance came back and said that they would pay to replace the stereo and to repair the damage on the car. So staying in the most positive, upbeat frame of mind to attract positive things and assume that everything is for your highest and best good. The man went to the repair shop, and the guy at the repair shop said, this is actually a really easy repair. It's not going to cost much at all. In fact, I'm just going to do it for free for you. I just need to spend a little bit of time. I'll do it for free. And so the man was able to take the money that he got from the insurance, which should have paid for a new stereo and for the repair of the car. Because he stayed in a positive frame of mind, he went to the right repair shop. The man said he'd do it for free. He had that extra money to go buy the expensive stereo that he wanted in the first place. And that's how staying in a positive frame of mind, i.e. working on your emotional intelligence, keeping control of your emotions, attracts positive things into your experience. I can give you another example from my own life. So I was working in a job that was giving me anxiety. I didn't enjoy it. It had started out okay, but I live in Brazil. I was working Australia hours. I was always having to work in the middle of the night. I was having to work late. I was having to wake up in the middle of the night to deal with crises. It was terrible. And the money wasn't enough money to pay my bills. So I was still having to do other work on the side to try and get my bills paid. The job was not in alignment. So my intuition had me quit. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have any other projects that I was working on. I didn't have any other income. My family didn't have any other income. But I stayed in a positive frame of mind. I knew that what I wanted to do was coaching. I knew that coaching made me feel good. So I just kept coaching. And things got really tough. And if you've been following me for a little while, or if you've been coming on my lives for a little while, you'll have heard me talking about my money situation and the fact that for several months no money was coming in to my experience at all. But I stayed positive and I stayed on course. And of course I had moments where I wasn't positive, and of course I had moments where I began to freak out, and I would feel my feelings, I would breathe, and I would keep going, and I would keep doing what felt right, until a couple of weeks ago, a friend reached out to me out of nowhere, asking me to work on a project for her. So I started last week. This was my second week. I started last week, and it turns out the project is just so much fun for me. I'm using my math degree. I'm working in Excel. The money is better than I had at my old role. The hours are better because I can work whenever I want. It's flexible hours. I can work whenever I want. And so it was the same thing, right? But I let go of the thing that wasn't in alignment. I stayed in a positive frame of mind. I stayed positive. I kept doing what I knew was the right thing. I kept doing what felt good. And it all worked out for the best because I was vibrating high, right? So we are here to do group coaching today. If you guys have questions, please feel free to put your coaching questions in the chat. Hello, Andrea, draw something. Sorry, I thought I saw you pop on there. I didn't want to lose my flow. Welcome back. It's good to have you here. So we are here to do live coaching. Emotional intelligence is such an important skill to learn. It's such an important tool to have in your tool belt. You can do anything with emotional intelligence. So, for example, if you like to manifest or use the law of attraction for bringing things into your reality, your emotional intelligence can be a skill to help you do that. Because like I was talking about, your emotional intelligence keeps you vibrating at the level you want to be on. And you'll know if you want to utilize the law of attraction or you want to utilize manifestation, you have to do it with your thoughts. You have to control your thoughts. You have to visualize and focus on the thing that you want in order to bring it into your reality. You have to vibrate at the frequency of the thing you are trying to attract in order to attract it into your reality. And working on your emotional intelligence can help you do that. I'm great, thank you, Andrea. I was just talking a little bit then about the past. So I quit my job in, I think it was March, sometime in March. And I hadn't had any income until the past couple of weeks since I've been working on this new project. And I've managed to become aware of how grateful I am for having been through that situation. So I'm lucky in that I've never really had money problems in my life until then. I always had savings. I always had money appear just in my experience at the exact right time. I've always lived like this. I've always made intuitive decisions and the money has always just come to support it. So there were times in my life when I had no money and then something would happen and I would just get money. I would get inheritance or whatever it was. And this has happened several times over my life. But I never really noticed it, because I never really was stressed out about not having money, and then I never really was concerned because I always just kind of knew that money would appear. But this time was different because this time I'm a parent. This time I've got kids. It's not just me. Because always in the back of my mind when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, like, okay, if I really, really mess up, I just go move back in with my mum, right? Like I always had that in the back of my mind. Like if I screw up so bad, I just go move home with my mum. And so I was never really concerned. Whereas now I'm in Brazil. I've got 2 young kids. My husband doesn't work here either. So it's not like, oh, well, if I mess it up, I can just go move in with my mum. Like this time I had to get it right. So I had this added pressure on myself that I put on myself about, needing to figure this out this time. And so I was trying so hard to figure it out. I was trying so hard to figure out how to get out of my money situation, right? How to get out of my money problems until I had to kind of coach myself and remind myself to let go of control. Hang on, that might be the person coming to pick up the bag. I had to let go of control and I had to stop trying to control things. Is that the person here? No. And just follow my intuition. Do what I tell everybody else to do, right? And so I did that and it just all worked out. It all worked out perfectly. But thank God I actually let myself get into that situation. Let myself have money problems, because I really had to put myself through my own kind of coaching to believe myself. I was feeling like a hypocrite. This is the problem, because I like to coach people from experience. I like to use my life experiences to help other people. And so I've lived through all of these experiences and I've had this amazing life where I've lived through all of this experience, but I never had money problems. So I felt like a hypocrite when I was trying to coach people through their money problems. And it was really holding me back, because it was this self-talk, right? Like, you're a hypocrite. What right do you have to help people with their money problems when you've never had any? And so having been through all of that, now I can look back at it and be like, I did that to myself. I literally did that to myself so that I could have money problems, so that I could get over it by following my own advice that I can then coach other people through it. Like, what drama? If I had just caught on to what I was up to, because I was subconsciously, spending all of my money, and like whenever I had less money come in, I didn't like decrease my standard of living. Like, I still sent my dogs out to get their hair done. I still sent my kids to private school. I was still eating out every now and again. I didn't change my standard of living. I just had more stress about how I was going to pay for it. And so, of course, I had to get myself down to zero. I had to get all of my accounts empty and then have no money come in for a while, so that I could actually be like, okay, now I've got money problems. Now I've got to test myself. Now I've got to check that I'm doing what I say, what I tell other people to do, and that it works. And it works so beautifully, so perfectly. I'm now literally being paid like practically to exist. Like, I get to work on these fun projects and I'm being paid for my expertise, right? So it's not like my time getting paid per hour like that. I'm being paid for my knowledge, which is amazing. Anyway, sorry, did you have Seeing Stars episode recently, Ellie? Did I? No, I don't think I did. I've been dancing at the gym a lot. I feel like I should be falling down, but I'm not. Victor, I appreciate your energy so much, always with insightful takes about Brazil culture shocks. Thank you. Recently, I mean. No, I really haven't. I've got to hop off early today because it's Mother's Day here this weekend, and so I'm going to my kids' school for a Mother's Day presentation. They're going to sing and dance for me, so I need to go put some makeup on and dry my hair because it's still wet. So I just wanted to hop on and say hello to you guys because it's Friday, and I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. I may or may not be on over the weekend. But yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I will be back definitely by Monday. Make sure you're following so you get notifications about if I go live over the weekend. I will if I get a chance. Bye bye.